Fancy.
Was I late?
To everything. I was having a conversation with an ex-coworker of mine, and casually I mentioned that I have drink runners at my restaurant. And he interrupts me and he goes, "You have drink runners at your restaurant?" And I go, "Yeah, that's what the fuck I just said. I got drink runners at my restaurant." He was like, "You have girls who stand at the bar that run drinks all night? That's all they do?" And you won't believe this, but I defended people in your position. I said, first of all, relax. I don't really like your attitude right now. Right? It's got a little bit too much black pepper in it for me to tone it down. Mm-hmm. Right? And it made me think, tell me you've never had a drink runner without telling me you've never had a drink runner. Because if you have never seen the show or you've never heard us talk about our restaurant life, this is probably job 20 for me as a server. And as I recall, it might be the first job that I have a drink runner at my job. And after having this drink runner experience, I got to be honest, I'm reluctant to accept another job that doesn't have a drink runner. Like, it's an extreme luxury. Like, it really is. And the thing is, like, if you examine the role of a drink runner, he wasn't necessarily wrong in his description. Like, your core responsibility is to run drinks from the bar to the tables. But in my opinion, it's so much more than that. Because I put drink runners, like the drink runners at my job, in the same category as like my serving assistant or the food runners or the hostesses, for example. Because I feel that the real luxury that these positions give me is time. Right? So all of these people take care of things that, because I don't have to take care of them, I have time to do, in my opinion, what's the most important thing a server has to do, just stand at a table and talk to people. So because people like drink runners and et cetera do their jobs, I have time to be at my table talking to my guests and gaining rapport and selling food and selling wine and drinks and creating an experience. Mm-hmm. And when I thought about this, I already knew, like, there's going to be some old school guy that works in like a mom and pop shop in fucking Connecticut that's like, nah, I don't need all that. I'm not tipping all that money out, right? I'm going to run my own food and run my own drinks and bust my own table. I don't need any of that bullshit. I mean, that's cool. I mean, it's not easy to do. But this isn't Connecticut, you know? Like, we make more money than you. Not because my menu has more expensive items on it, but I make more money than that old school server because I have more time to sell these things. And because I have more of a connection by spending time with my guests, I get tipped more. Because people aren't just saying, "Oh, I'm signing my check and my experience is over." They're like, "Oh, no. My server was amazing. I really enjoyed my time with him. Let me tip my server for that experience." So before people judge and they sort of minimalize and belittle an experience that a drink runner brings to a restaurant, I think people are going to have to be interested in what we have to talk about, because I think the position of drink runner is one that is underutilized and underacknowledged. So I'm excited to have these two ladies here to talk about this, because I think we have a lot to learn from these two people. Let's do it, eh?
Welcome to Fancy Bread. I'm Adrian.
I'm Ed.
And today we're discussing cocktail runners, this luxury hire. And the question to you is, are you willing to pay or save out some money from your tip pool to get such a luxury? Let's discuss. And for that today, we have brought two lovely ladies who've been in the industry for quite a while, Rachel and Kasey. Thank you so much for joining us, ladies.
Hello.
Thank you for having us.
Ladies, now I just want to jump right in it. What is a cocktail runner, and what does a cocktail runner do?
Our core responsibilities, I mean, you said it, Ed, is running the drink to the table. Mm-hmm. But there's a lot more to it than that.
Don't repeat what I say, please. Say your own thing, please.
That's all right.
I feel like you have to work that certain position to understand, because it sounds easy, but then when you're doing it, especially if you're working somewhere that's very high volume, it's not as simple as it looks. And when there's 30 drinks in front of you and you have to take it to the table and you have to carry a tray with 10 things on it and it's heavy. And then people are screaming at you because where's my drink? Where's this? And then you get to the table and then people are throwing things at you. It's just...
What do you mean people are throwing things at you?
I don't know. Sometimes you go to a table and somebody's just handing you stuff.
Okay.
Like, here, take this. And I'm like, okay, hold on. I only have 2 hands.
Yeah.
But, and then by the time you get back, there's 30 more things to do. So it's more complicated than just take this to the table. Yeah. Sounds simple, but it's not.
Absolutely. Anything you want to add to that, Kasey?
Yes, I totally agree. One of our other obligations is to garnish all the drinks. So after the drink is made, we have to know what is the proper garnish for each drink, make sure they look beautiful before they go to the table. And at our specific restaurant, our drinks are very fancy and over the top. So a lot of them come with an extra show that we are responsible of giving to the table properly.
She answers like she's like in a fucking like Miss America.
I was going to say, it's a pageant. I was going to say, you should have ended with world peace.
I know.
And world peace. It's the cheerleading inside.
You have to runner, think of it as the midpoint between the bar and the guests. Same way that the runners are the midpoint between the kitchen and the guests.
Yeah,
right?
that's called a consigliere, by the way.
The what?
A consigliere.
Consigliere.
You never seen Goodfellas?
Nah.
This is a constant theme between you and me, bro.
I've seen Goodfellas, but it's been a long time since
have you seen any of the Godfathers? You have.
A long time ago, sir.
Yo, Adrian hasn't seen a movie in the United States of America. But tell him about, Coqui Adventure 1.
Listen,
Coqui
let's talk
Adventure
about
2.
the consigliere. That's in
Lee
between,
consigliere.
Okay? The Lee consigliere.
Okay, go ahead.
Is that the way?
That's fine. That's fine. Go ahead.
So they're going to be that midpoint.
Right.
Right, there's a person responsible for carrying your drinks to your table through a busy environment and also take away that responsibility from the server. We no longer have to go and garnish our drinks, go and ask the bartender what's going on, where's this, where's that. How they take care of all of that responsibility so that we can take care of you.
It's so good, bro.
Yeah, and some of you might say, "Oh, that's not what I want." But have you ever been in a restaurant and just waiting for your server to come over to you, and you see him or her, and you know that they're busy, they're running drinks, they're clearing tables, they're doing all of that? Well, that's because you don't have one of
It's
these.
so good, man. I'm telling you, there's servers watching this right now that are like, get the fuck out of here. I could run my own drink.
You don't even know. It's so easy to get used to luxury.
I can run my own drink too, I can so all these things that happen in a restaurant via your support. As a server or as a person who gets paid more because you have more risk to your job, you should be able to do all these things. I can run food. I can carry 1 million drinks on a tray. I can drop drinks with balance, especially high stemmed glasses on a tray, which is, a little more complicated than people think. Especially because we get used to it.
Before you talk.
We get used to it because you get muscle memory. But I've dropped a drink on a guest. We'll get into you too.
Yeah,
we'll get into you. See how she laughed?
I think we all have.
I've dropped a drink on a guest and you develop that sort of gyroscope, like secondhand. I don't think about it anymore. But I'm telling you, if you're a server and you're trying to make fun of the existence of a drink runner, you've never fucking had a drink runner.
You never had a drink runner.
It's easy. It's not difficult to get used to bad things. It's just easier to get used to good things.
Sure. And speaking of the good things, can you tell us a little bit about your day-to-day, like from the beginning of your shift to the end of your shift? What are some of the responsibilities that you have?
Well, setting up, we do similar stuff as the bartender. So we have to set up our own station, make sure that all of our garnishes are fresh and cleaned, setting up the wines, the garnishes, the glassware. Depends on where you are, but where I work specifically, we do like special shows for cocktails. So there's a lot that goes into it that you have to prepare as well for those shows. Yeah, just I would say getting your station set up.
Mm-hmm. And what are some of your duties during the shift?
Say duties one more time.
Duties. What are some of those duties during the shift?
Yes. So during our shifts, we're responsible for the tickets that come out, making sure the bartender sees them, reads them correctly. We help them out a lot with sometimes if we see that they didn't read the ticket properly, we double check and make sure that the drink was made right or with whatever garnish. And then throughout the night, we're just making sure that The bartender is flowing as quickly as he can, so we try to help him out as best we can with either like reading out the tickets to him, keeping them in order, keeping our station clean so that it's a smooth transition, bringing the drinks there and back.
So not only you are in a way a cocktail runner, but also a cocktail expo
I was about to say
as
that,
well.
yeah.
So you're actually taking charge of the bar, or at least the service bar, which is
Service
where the
bar,
well
yes.
is, and those are preparing the drinks that go out to the floor, not particularly the people that are sitting in the bar. So in a way, not only you have a bit of a leadership role in that area, but also quarterback position, or linebacker is the one that has to go through the line with the ball.
Don't make sport references.
I
Adrian.
guess I
don't
can't
make
make sport references. The point
bro.
is, you're the person that has to grab that tray and ram it through the floor because there's people in the way, and you have to be at times like a football
Yes.
play, like one hand in the tray and the other one.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
pushing people
Our
out.
restaurant is very small, and when it gets busy, it does get very difficult to walk through the crowd. So it's definitely a balancing act to keep the trays on the drink
Yeah.
nicely and work your way through the restaurant.
What drinks are you tired of seeing?
Strawberry lemon drop.
A strawberry lemon drop. What about
What is
you?
this? Because it orders so much.
Just because it's so much. I
Fucking
mean,
hell, bro.
it's pretty easy to make, but there's just a lot of them.
Yeah,
Got it.
and they're
So
sticky.
this is when you're tired of seeing it.
sticky and gross.
What
To
about
be
you?
honest,
You gotta
this
put
is
sugar
so like you're not even gonna expect this, but I hate when somebody orders beers.
Why?
I hate carrying beers.
Yeah?
It's the glass, it's huge, and then if there's like 5 of them, it's you know what I mean?
It's really heavy.
I hate
And you got to get it
carrying
out at
beers.
the perfect timing so
Yes.
that the foam on top is still there.
Just give
Yeah.
me everything
true.
else, but beers, please. Just don't order a bucket of this is not Flanagan's, please.
Well, I mean, it's okay.
I don't think Flanagan's have cocktails order, do they?
I don't think Flanagan. I don't think Flanagan's has $16 beers either.
But I don't want to take 6 beers to your table.
You know, before I forget, I wanted to ask you guys this question. Do you ever run a drink to a table that's, let's call it stereotypically feminine, and you give it to a man
Yes.
and you think differently of him?
Yes. Yesterday.
Yesterday? What happened?
Well, listen, I don't judge.
But you are judging. But you are judging.
I
It's
don't.
okay.
But internally I was a little bit shocked because you know, sometimes you see a name on the menu and you're like, okay, let me try this. And you don't know what's coming out.
Okay.
But then once you saw it,
You
and
mean like on the
drank
cocktail
it-
menu?
Correct.
Right. Okay.
So I'm not judging. You didn't know. It sounded like the ingredients you like.
I see where you're going with this.
But once you order it the second time,
Right, exactly.
after I sprayed perfume on it,
Right.
now I'm judging a little
Right.
bit.
Right. Right. A macho man.
All right.
Yes.
Macho
So
man.
it happened to me yesterday, and
It's
I
a
was like,
difficult
okay.
situation.
So-
It's
So
like
the first one you get for free. It's okay. You
It's
didn't
a
know.
the first one's fine.
it's kind of tough, right? Because like you could be a serial killer. You could be like a boxer and order a girly drink. You beat people up like for a living, but it still makes you look like a little bitch. You know what I mean? It's really weird the way that works.
There's
And you
been
hold it,
times
and you hold it with the
where
pinky up, and you like,
No, it doesn't matter. You can hold it with your
Sometimes they'll request like not to have the flour added.
Right,
to
right,
their
right.
drink.
yes,
The
yes.
modification.
They'll continue ordering that drink.
The
but
modification.
That's
then-
fine.
No, I don't
that's
think so.
acceptable.
I
You
don't
know,
think
when
so.
they don't want it in a martini glass, they want it in a big
I
rock
don't think
glass.
so.
But
That's
you
fine.
know, I asked you though.
I don't think so.
Whenever you have this manly person, right,
Yeah.
or who you consider this manly guy,
Right.
and this manly person orders this bougie female-like driven drink,
Right.
what do you do?
What do I do?
Yeah.
Do you
Do you
recommend
say?
something
Do you recommend
else?
something else? Did you just bring it? Did you offer to? change it?
warn
What do you
them?
do? Talk
It
to me.
depends. It depends on the vibe. Like, for the most part, I don't really, like I said, I don't like to judge. I'm with Rachel on this. I don't like to judge because you can drink whatever you want. Because it's just like we say, okay, you can have a medium rare steak or a well done steak. You can make any argument. I don't think it's an argument. I think it's a fact. A well done steak is not going to be as juicy or as flavorful as a less cooked steak, but on the check, it still costs the same. Right. So if I have a premier cocktail that costs $20 and it's girly as fuck and it's got flowers and perfume and it's pink, and a 6'5" football player orders it, that drink doesn't align with the the vibe you're putting out there, because you're putting a vibe out there. It's not as if people are all wearing the same color and they're all completely covered. No, people come with different implications of vibe. Some guy will come in with his muscles out, right? And chains and sunglasses, and he'll be huge, and then he'll order a fucking strawberry lemon drop. Like that is, I'm sorry. Actually, no, I'm not sorry. Like that is not a masculine drink. And to say something is masculine or feminine is a real thing. Like even in wine, for example, certain wines can be sort of explained in a different way. Like Spanish wine is oaky and masculine and leather and right. And then something else like lighter, like Pinot Noir, has like flowers and it's delicate. Like those are real things.
Or gin is actually described between masculine and feminine.
Right. So these
gin.
are real things.
Yeah.
It's just, listen, let's not bullshit here. When people create cocktail menus in Miami, they create it with a certain expectation.
Yeah.
Okay. You have a drink on a menu called El fucking Masculino.
Yeah.
Right? It's got rum and or whatever. And then you have another drink called the beach day or the sunshine state or whatever that has this and Lillet Blanc and rose. Like,
or I like it
gonna be
shiny,
more girly.
something like that.
these drinks are designed for a reason.
Yes.
Is somebody going to make fun of you because you're wearing girls' jeans? No. Not to your face, but yes.
Thank you.
Internally.
Right? But yes, they're going to make fun of you. If you like wearing girl jeans and you look comfortable and you feel comfortable in girl jeans, even if you're 300 pounds and you're 6'8", no one's gonna make
is tight.
no one's gonna make fun of you. Come on, Adrian, that's weird. No one's gonna make fun of you. But are people gonna make fun of you? Yes. That doesn't make sense, but it makes sense.
It just
Absolutely.
doesn't go.
It doesn't make sense, but it
I
makes
have a
sense.
question.
Okay, so in the end, you just take the order, bring the drink,
It depends. If somebody orders their drink with,
and we'll come back to you.
if somebody orders their drink with quiet confidence, and I say to myself, that's what they want, right? But it's happened sometimes where somebody will be like, okay, you and me will be sitting here, and I'll come up to you, and then I'll be like, what would you like to drink, sir? And you'll be like, I don't know, I'm not really sure. Cocky guy, me, will be like, man, he doesn't know how to order cocktails. I got this. Bring us 2 strawberry Casamigos lemon drops. Watch
Reposado.
this. Reposado. Watch this shit, bro. That's how you order a drink. When a guy like that orders a drink, then I make fun of him.
Got it.
Then I make fun of him. But if this cocky guy weren't so cocky and he was just like, yo, I want a strawberry margarita with a sugar rim, I'm going to make fun of him to myself. But I'm not going to be so bad to be like, yo, you're paying for it. That's what you like. That's what your palate desires. It's cool. The same way with the well-done steak. I would never order a well-done steak. Ever. And it's offensive because people who order a $200 steak well done and ask for A1 and ketchup. Somebody asked me for ketchup the other day for a steak. I haven't had ketchup on a steak since I was a kid, bro, growing up in my Dominican household. That's very Dominican. Ketchup with steak is Dominican as fuck. But now we don't do that no more, bro. We grew up. I don't know what to say.
I feel you. Well, in my case, because I like to create safe spaces for our guest. If a guest orders from the menu from the cocktail menu, a cocktail that I know it's going to be more female driven or female friendly,
Right.
I will ask them, would you like me to put that on a big ice? And they'll say yes.
See, that's what
Yes.
I forgot that point.
Yeah.
See,
That's when we know it's going to
See,
a
I
good
respect.
Exactly.
See, I respect you more if
Yeah.
you come into a restaurant and order a girly fucking drink and have the girly drink the way it's supposed to be, right? Then have the girly drink and try to hide it. Like, don't be in the closet, bro.
That's okay.
Be out there.
Hey, listen, I offer it to them, and then I look at them and say, those pants look a little tight, baby.
Be out there, bro. Don't be frustrated with your sexuality.
Now, you mentioned you had a
Be out
question. Do you want to go ahead and jump on that?
How do you guys feel about men drinking from straws? Because I know some girls always talk about it and they say absolutely not. It's an ick.
Okay, so what
do
do
they
girls say about it?
What do they say?
I want to know how you feel about it.
Go for it.
Do you think it's okay for a
Let's
guy?
paint a
You're
picture.
on a
Let's paint a
first
picture,
date.
though.
Depends.
Let's
It
paint a
depends
picture.
on
You're on a
drink.
first date and he's like this.
Exactly.
Get a paper, go.
Let's paint a picture, right?
Okay.
Dude picks you up. He's cruising. He's chilling. Smells good. Got a good vibe.
Manly,
Manly.
sexy.
Smells good. Right? Touches you on the small of your back. Little touches. Important, right? You sit down. He's a gentleman. Pulls a chair out for you. You sit down. The mood is right. The lighting is tight.
Get to it.
All right. Anyways, he orders his cocktail and he's got a fucking straw. And he drinks from the straw. How does that make you feel?
Or
But,
even
like,
worse, he
He's
says,
missing
"Oh,
the straw.
can I get a straw for this?" Even worse. And then you get him the
Oh,
straw.
he asked for a straw?
Yeah. He's like, can I get a
But
straw
what
for
kind
this?"
of drink is it? Because like if it's a margarita, then
It comes with a straw.
yeah, I
Yes.
don't see a problem.
So it's a
drinking
drink
from
that
straw.
normally does not come with a
If
straw.
it's in like
and
a
they ask for a
martini
straw.
glass,
Yeah.
and they ask for a straw, I'm gonna think
What are you
it's
gonna
a
think?
little weird.
Why?
Because
Personally.
like even if I were drinking that drink, I wouldn't ask for a straw.
Right. But if you
Like,
did, it would
why?
make sense because I guess women
Maybe
ask for
like
straws because they don't want to mess up their
or
lipstick.
something.
Right.
Yeah.
But if it was a regular drink like a margarita, a mojito, you wouldn't care if they were drinking from a straw.
No,
Okay.
those drinks I feel you have to drink from a straw.
All right.
She's so light. She's so light.
She's so
My
nice.
pers-
No,
I mean, I
really,
don't know about you,
like,
but
a
my
margarita-
personal grievance with that is that cocktails, they do taste better when you sip them from the glass. Period. They're
true.
in fact, when a good bartender or mixologist creates a drink, they create that in mind, saying, "Is this going to be drink with a straw, or is this going to be drink by putting it onto your lips?" Because the flavor profiles are either going to match on the top or on the bottom, or sometimes certainly in the middle. That's how
That's
they
true.
create those drinks.
Okay, and that's true.
So
With
if
a
someone
margarita
comes
and you
in
have a little salt
and
rim,
orders
yeah.
a straw with a drink that doesn't normally come with it, to
Then
me, you're
that's
telling me
weird.
that you are inexperienced
You're neutering the drink.
in that. Exactly. That's what it tells to me.
Drinks live in your nose. A big part of a cocktail's in your nose. I personally, not even because we're talking about this,
I get a straw.
I
with this
never use a straw for drinks because smelling the drink affects a lot of how the drink tastes. And if you can think of like a cold glass bottle of Coca-Cola, like putting that to your lips makes the Coca-Cola so much better. It's just a
Than in
thing.
a straw, yeah.
It's a thing. Yeah. What about you? How do you feel about men using straws to drink drinks?
I think it's fine. But have you seen a man try to sip from the straw and miss?
Oh God.
Then
okay.
then that's a different story.
Is that him? That gives you the. what do
That
you
gives
call
me
it?
an ick.
An ick.
There-
That's another word I don't use. The ick.
Don't miss the straw, guys.
Let's move to
Don't if you're out on a date with me.
Yeah, but what
Don't
if he's
miss-
looking? What if he's making eye contact with you?
And
Wait,
he's, and
what
he's
if he's just looking at you and just missed the whole thing?
absolutely not.
What if he's
Please.
making
You want
eye
to take that as a
contact with you?
compliment and be like,
No.
"Damn, I look good today."
No, please don't miss the straw.
All right, careful, don't miss your straws. All right, so moving it on, I want to talk about some pros and cons to your job. Let's start with some pros. What are some of the pros that you have in your job?
To be honest, I really like doing this job specifically because I know that it helps the server a lot and it takes a lot of the stress off of their plate. So I used to be a server. I used to be a bartender. Like I have experience doing all types of different roles. So I know my job now. I don't really have to interact with the guests and I enjoy that. Of course, I know we all can agree that, not talking to the guest is better, but my job is definitely easier. But I like taking that stress off of them. And I know that my job, even though it seems so simple, it plays a big role.
Exactly. We don't have to deal with customers.
Yeah, definitely.
Honestly, I think that
picking
is
up a theme here.
my
Yeah.
favorite thing about my job is because like I have no stress. I don't have to deal with people complaining about this and that. Like I just take the drink. Here's your wonderful drink. Bye.
Yeah.
And then go deliver the next drink. So yes, of course, we have that contact with the customers, and it's good to always, of course, have the good energy for them and be polite and present the drink well. But at the same time, we're not under that pressure where like customers are staring us down or trying to get our attention behind the bar to make their drink. So for me,
The hell you escaped, Jesus.
yeah, it's very like stressless, and that's what I enjoy best about it.
Yeah, so like there's a theme or like a slogan to put on a hoodie based on this episode. It's I'm glad I don't have to talk to you.
Yes.
I'm glad I don't have to talk
I was
to you.
polite.
Glad I
Politely
don't
trying
have
to
talk
say that.
guests, you know?
Exactly.
Which, by the way, it's also a constant theme whenever you talk to people about food runners and also essays. I know a lot of them who they never wanted to move to become a server or a bartender or anything else because they, particularly with that, they
For
said,
that
I
reason.
don't want to deal directly with customers.
Yes.
So that's a big pro. And also a pro for us as servers is that everything flows better. It's one thing less that I have to deal with. I don't have to go
Yeah.
to the bar and say to the bartender, where's my ex drink? And then be like having to garnish it, looking for garnishes when they're not there, having to cut them, et cetera, then running them to my table.
Yes.
While I'm running them to my table, I have to go through people and everybody else is like, I need your attention. Have you ever seen those memes where someone's coming with a full tray and someone's like, I want your attention. They just throw it. It's like, that's kind of like what
Yeah.
people want us to do. And we don't have to go through that because you're there.
And
so
we do deal with a lot of like requests,
Yeah,
you know,
there we go.
from the tables. When it comes to drinks, a lot of times I end up taking drink orders and having to relay that to the server. Or just any little thing. And like if they didn't like their drink, if they want it more sweet, if they want a straw, like all those little requests, we do listen and take care of that on our own.
But I
as
will
best
ask,
we can.
is that part of your duties or is that something that you're doing that is extra?
Extra.
I would say it's a part of it because we are
So
responsible of their drinks. Like we are the drink runners, and if there's something that they don't like about their drink, like we're the easiest person to go back to the bar and tell the bartender, hey, can you add some more simple syrup in here? Or, oh, you made this wrong. It's supposed to be a double or whatever. Like there's no real point to like go to the server to tell them to then go tell the bar when like we're already there. Like,
Yeah,
so
you
I
can do
feel
it.
that it's a part of our job.
Yeah.
Well, it is a sense of everybody's job, right? It's like, I
Yeah,
remember
it's
one time we had
teamwork.
an episode and Edwin asked, oh, if somebody waves at you, do you tell them I'm going to get your server or do you tell them, how can I help you? And in that way, the how can I help you is just you being hospitable. And some cases, some may say that is not your responsibility, but the reality is that comes up to you and that will greatly take away from my duties as well. And that's one of the reasons that I personally consider extra tipping my cocktail runner whenever I say, oh, wow, I didn't have to ask anyone about their drink other than, is that to your liking? I didn't have to say, do I need to fix that? Do I need to change that? No, because if you did that, that's definitely extra for sure. Yeah, something you want to say about that?
Do you guys ever personally dislike one of your server coworkers? And if you do, does that ever affect how you run their drinks? I don't even, that's a waste of a question for you.
Yeah, I was going to say
Because somebody
no.
could have robbed you or something, or like, and you'd be like,
Well, the
"No,
viewers
it's
don't know
okay."
that. So
The what?
the viewers, they don't know that. She has to explain.
Right, but they do. They do know that. Trust me.
They do know.
The light seems to be shining on this side of the table a little bit more
and
than that
it's
side.
cloudy
Like,
over
there's-
here.
It's cloudy over there.
Like, let's say you have 5 tickets for drinks and all of them are done. And that 5th ticket is from someone you don't like. Do you take all other 4 and leave that one for when you come back after?
I'm going to be honest. I know you guys are expecting me to be,
You don't know what we're expecting.
You know it was like,
I feel like you guys are expecting me to be like, no, I throw the ticket away. I'm going to be honest. I don't. Even though, of course, there's people that I do not like.
Okay.
But I do not mess with their tickets because it's not messing with them. It's messing with the guest. And the guest did not do anything to me. So
Good.
I do
You see,
not.
you see how
I
she
de-
couldn't finish that without laughing?
well, good.
I
because-
definitely don't mess up service. It doesn't matter if I have anything against you. Your tickets are safe with me. And they will be ran fast.
I'm trying
So-
to find out where tickets disappear from the bar.
Don't
Not
worry.
here.
You're
Shit.
safe.
Bar, I'm coming after you next.
You're safe. I promise. I have never done that.
Well, that's a good thing because the reality is if you did that, which I guess as a cocktail runner, you can do that. If you do that, it only affects yourself because one of the things that to me I say affect more than anything now that, and that's what I consider a con, is that it's easy for you to say that is taken care of. So as soon as I put my drink on the computer, I'm like, I'm good. I'm just going to keep taking care of my guests. I'm going to go check on what I have to do next, how to carry some directions to my assistant, et cetera, et cetera. And if I come to the table after like 5 minutes and the cocktail is not magically there, that's when I say to myself, oof, someone fucked up. right? And if that comes from you, a cocktail runner, saying, I'm going to fuck with Adrian, I'm going to throw away the ticket. When I go back to the table and the appetizers arrive there and it's been sitting for a while, they don't have their drinks, well, you kind of fucked up. And that now looks bad on me. That's going to look bad on the tip. And at the end of the day, when I tip extra, that's going to reflect on you as well. So yes, you can fuck with your servers, but it's just going to end up fucking with you as well.
And we're all part of the pool, so
We're all
might
part
as
of the
well
pool.
be a team
I'm
player.
sure people
and
do it,
Make
but
that money, honey.
Now, I want to talk a little bit
I
about...
don't know. Casey's getting on my nerves this episode, bro.
Why?
She's too enthusiastic, bro.
Listen,
I'm not
I
used
love
to
it because
this
it's like a
enthusiastic
yin and
shit.
yang. You know, we put the yin, the yang, a little touch.
The
It's
evil and the
perfect.
nice.
This
I don't know.
table is just perfectly balanced right
we're
now.
on
No,
the
it's
dark
not- it's
side
not
over
yin
here.
and yang, it's
Adrian,
like
we're on the
yin
dark
and
side.
Now, I want to
Coñolo.
talk about a little bit about you. Who is the person that does this job? What is your hospitality story?
When I was 16, I got my first job at a clothing store, and that teaches you a lot about customer service and folding clothes. It's
not
trust
fun.
me, it's not fun.
It's not fun.
That
I've done
was
it. It's
my
not
first
fun.
and last at 16. And then from there, I moved on, I think, to restaurants and hospitality. I got into sales. I've worked with animals. I've worked at a nightclub.
And which one would you
Short
say
span.
is the one that prepared you the most for this job? Was it the nightclub? Was it working with the animals?
Working with the animals, I was going to say.
I feel like everything, you
Yeah.
know, because especially my specific job, it's not a regular Panera Bread restaurant, you know, it's more of a nightclub. And so I think honestly, being a bottle server has helped me move through crowds, carrying things, heavy things. And also my experience being a server as well that I've mentioned, bartender, all of that came into play with my current role.
And out of
So-
all the ones you have, is this the one you like the most?
No.
Good to know. Casey?
Okay, so I started in this industry when I was 16.
Damn.
My first job was a hostess at a sports bar because the hostesses got to wear cheerleading uniforms, and I really wanted to wear that uniform.
There you go, girl.
Can't even.
You can't even be mad at
Did you ever have a job because you wanted to wear that
It's
uniform?
Can we just turn this light off, bro? She will radiate enough light. for the whole fucking-
see each other.
But it's true.
Mierda, qué tipo,
I
man.
love it. I love it. Good. So maybe we
And
do.
then I became a Miami Dolphins cheerleader when I was 18.
Damn.
It was actually kind of thanks to that first restaurant job that I had, because since it was a sports bar, there happened to be a gentleman involved with some kind of sports marketing, knew about the Dolphins. And my hostess manager at the time, she knew I was on my high school's dance team and like wanted to pursue dancing at a higher level. So at that time, there was no social media. So he happened to tell me that the auditions were approaching and how to go on the website, all the steps. So thankfully, since I was making my own money at that time, I went home, I signed up for all the remaining prep classes and auditions, and I made the team my first year.
Wow.
So from my first cheerleader outfit in the restaurant, I got my real
Official cheerleader
professional
outfit.
official outfit. So I did that for 4 years. And throughout those years, I did school, and I actually have always kind of kept a restaurant job because of the flexibility.
What were some of the jobs you had in the restaurant industry? And then like you were doing host, cocktail, what
yes,
were you doing?
I did everything. I went from hostess to server to bartending in a nightclub before I came to my
Where you
job
current-
now.
Got it.
Yes. And what kind of made me make that transition was the hours.
Wow.
I was getting really tired of the late night hours. So being more in the restaurant setting, the hours were a
little more
lot
forgiving.
easier. Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
So I want to bring it into, since you mentioned all those things that you do, what is a skill that you consider that can make anyone really good at your job?
I'm just thinking of work ethic.
Speed.
That's good. I was going to say spatial awareness.
Spatial
It's
awareness, yes.
huge. Where you place things, how you get from one point to the other, who's on the way, the speed in which you move. It's nuts. If you're a clumsy person,
Can't stand clumsy people, man.
you should not
It
be
would
a
not
cocktail
work
runner.
out.
If you're a clumsy person, you should not work in a restaurant. period.
stand-
No.
We work where we work is very small. We work with a couple of fucking people who are like a rhinoceros. I can't stand it. I can't stand clumsy, heavy-footed people. Cannot stand it.
And we have plenty of those.
Yeah. Where you guys work, is there like a dedicated place for you to be?
Yes.
Or there is?
Yes.
Does that
Thank
place
God.
ever get, does your space
Crowded?
ever get invaded and
Yes.
crowded?
All the time. I can't stand it.
Right. So you're on the side of like the service bar? Or do you,
I'm right
you have a service
outside.
bar? Okay. And do guests only order from the other side, or do
They're
guests
supposed to.
encroach?
They definitely encroach in our space and try to order over us.
Right.
And we have to politely tell them that you have to go around the other side of the bar.
See how she said
to-
politely?
How do you tell a guest who's encroaching your space that they got to get out of your way?
I just say, sorry, you have to go around to the front of the bar if you want to order a drink.
Oh my gosh.
And how do you say it?
How do you say it? That's it. That's all you got to say. That's it. That's all you got to say.
Now let's move this into challenges. What are some of the challenges that you face with bartenders, with kitchen staff, or maybe even servers?
I don't like when they come up to the service station and then they start grabbing their tickets. I need this. Where's this?
Okay.
Or verbally telling me something. Where is this? Why
Okay.
haven't I got? I don't know what's going on. Okay. I am trying to go by the order of the tickets. I could have 15 tickets in front of me. I'm not going to remember the 30th ticket over here that you're asking me about a lemon drop. I'm not. So don't come here. Don't grab your ticket. Don't put it in front. Don't move things around. Like, I have a specific order. We have a way of doing things,
Got it.
and it's going to come when it comes.
So what would be, right? Because let's say, for example, the example that I gave earlier, I went to my table, I make sure that I read my ticket because I went to the computer and I saw the ticket was wrong. It's been over 7 minutes, let's say, because appropriate time for a drink is 7 to 10 minutes. And it's been over that, right? The appetizer's on the table and you say to yourself, okay, let me go check out what's going on. If I visually see that the bar is a lot of tickets in there, I say, okay, maybe it's not there. And the proper way, and that's why I ask you, what would be the proper way for me to say, hey, I ran this ticket in. I just want to make sure that it's in queue.
Yes, that's completely fine. Just asking politely, like, hey, is my ticket here? I just want to check on it, make sure it's still there and it's coming.
I think
Then we will look for it
Yeah.
through the crowd of tickets, and we will be like, yes, it's right here. You
I think
know?
I speak on behalf of all servers when I say that you really got to check your attitude. You really got an attitude problem.
Who?
Check those tickets and
You
check
do.
that. Casey, is there something that I wonder? Is there something that people do that upsets you?
I don't think anything
Is
would
there
upset
anything
her.
That's challenging for you to dealing with the bartender, kitchen staff. Maybe someone's hitting on you, harassment. Is there something that you have to deal with constantly that you wish to address?
There's one situation with a coworker came in our station to get his own wine, and we have these wines.
I don't know what she's going to say right
I don't
now.
know either, but I'm
ahead.
curious.
I'm curious now.
So
excited to
this
see
is
where
the
this is
first
going.
time
I'm
that
curious.
I'm like, what is it?
I'm
We
gonna
have-
lean in.
we
She's
have
got.
these-
He poured his own wine.
Have any issues? I didn't think she was going to have any issues.
Please. So
They don't
so this-
smile at each other. They don't
We
say
have
hello.
these wine crafts, and sometimes we have special garnishes like lights or clips, and we put them in the crafts.
I know what you're gonna say.
This one server came, and he just had to get his own wine,
Oh my
and he
God.
poured it into our craft, holding all of the clips.
Wow.
Okay.
I remember this.
I mean,
And then after he poured it,
that doesn't sound so bad.
That's not so bad. It's not so bad.
That doesn't sound so bad.
So speaking about that male,
That doesn't sound so bad.
I take it that you ladies work in a male-dominated environment.
yes.
How does that make you feel?
Do you feel empowered that you
Yeah.
are
I like it because we're
women on
special.
the floor? Special.
Yeah.
You draw all that attention. People
Yes.
see you, you're like, wow, immediately.
Yes.
Right. What about you?
I mean, I wouldn't say special, but I can deal with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I've managed to work with women and men, and they both are very different. So usually I'm in more of a male-dominated field.
So what can you tell someone who's thinking, I can be a cocktail runner? in a male-dominated environment, what would you tell that person?
You need a strong personality,
Mm-hmm.
and you can't be sensitive.
True.
You can't be
True.
sensitive in this
You
You
industry at
cannot
all.
be sensitive in this industry.
Okay. Let's ask a more modern question here. Have you ever, and would you suggest fucking around with coworkers?
No, don't do it.
Don't do it and you haven't done it, or you have done it and don't do it?
Ladder.
Listen.
Tell me you haven't
No.
Tell me you did
Listen.
something without telling me you did something.
She already answered it.
No, because I need to explain.
Oh, please.
The only time I have ever was when I first got in the industry when I was 18, 19 years old.
Got it.
So that is the last time that I ever messed with a coworker, and do not recommend it. A lot of people do it, and I see it all the time. I grew out of that.
Does that count for managers as well? Do you consider a manager a coworker?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Do not do it. It's messy. It's complicated. You work with them. You see them every day. Just don't do it. That's my advice.
Casey?
I agree. I don't have experience. I have never dated a coworker, but I have seen situations and I wouldn't recommend it based on those situations.
Got it.
Because things can get awkward, and I mean, I have seen it in the positive way too. I've seen people work together that are a couple and it works out great.
Some people
There's
find
no
love.
issues.
We had a situation like that and we spoke about it on the show as well. But
Yeah.
yes.
So, I mean, either way, it depends, but yeah, just be smart about it because
Now I'm
at the end of the
gonna
day,
flip this. How about a guest?
Ooh.
How about
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do we mean?
Guests are
meet
being
at the
flirted.
restaurant,
A guest,
If
a customer.
guests flirt with you
Like,
or
you end up
invite you
dating a
out.
guest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be any job you've had.
You never, and listen, we're talking about the past.
Exactly.
The past. Whatever situation y'all might have in the present is irrelevant. Okay? That's a disclaimer. If you guys have a personal present situation, this doesn't affect you. In the past, in the far past, have you ever met someone at work who's a guest, given a phone number, that kind of shit?
Yeah.
Never.
Actually, no, I haven't.
No.
All right.
Yes.
Okay.
And I recommend it because because actually
Thank
I
you
recommend it too.
how's it go? Thank you for
My
thank you
first-
for letting me know. Thank you for
my
letting me
first boyfriend ever, that
I appreciate
my
it.
first and only boyfriend that I was with for a long time, many years. I met him. I was his server. So actually, I did find my first love at a restaurant, and that's crazy to me. So I actually think that you never know who's gonna walk in, and
Right.
Correct.
It's not
they
about
could be the love of your life.
it's
You
not
know?
about how it starts, it's about how it ends.
There you go.
Right. So I recommend that.
So how often do you guys deal with unfortunate but realistic, inappropriate attention from male guests and female guests even? How often do you deal with people being slightly inappropriate when you go to tables? You're running drinks to an 8 top of men, that situation. How often are people kind of disrespectful? How, if you ever have to put anybody in their place, that kind of stuff.
I wouldn't say disrespectful. I mean, you're always going to hear little comments here and there.
Okay.
But most of the time, I just pretend that I didn't hear them.
Right.
Yeah, especially if it's a big group of guys. Like, it's either one or the other. Like, they either, like, all get silent
Yeah, that's weird.
when you're
That's awkward
dropping
as
off
fuck.
the drinks, or there's, like, the couple that have some things to
Yeah.
say.
I've seen it
I
happen.
wanted to ask you about that. How have you gotten sass from another female when let's say if I'm dining with my lady and you come in dropping the drinks? Has someone ever give you an attitude? Like,
Right,
like why
'cause
you looking at my boyfriend that
Yeah.
way? Like, don't
She thinks
like,
she's flirting with her man.
Yeah. Have you ever had that issue?
No, I never have.
Oh my god. As a server either, because servers get that all the time.
Really?
Oh yeah, server and female servers, they usually get that all the time.
Yeah, we have female servers who tell us that that's an issue.
Yeah, they go. Sometimes they even tell, "Can you go to that table?" And because I'm having issues with the
never
lady,
happened to us.
and that's something that even them like taking the order from the lady or looking at her instead of looking. No, it's it's an
I
issue.
feel if anything, the women are more excited when we come bringing the drinks, especially when we have those more like female
Pretty
type
thing, yeah.
drinks, because some of our drinks are very beautiful, they're extravagant. So a lot of the times the women get very excited when we are delivering the drinks, more excited than the men.
We don't really have to talk. We just drop off the drink. So I feel like that's why we don't have that issue. Maybe if we were their server, but I don't know. We've never had that issue.
How does a cocktail runner typically get tipped out?
From the percentage of overall sales of the restaurant, and the servers can additionally tip us personally on top of that.
Yeah. Should they?
Yes.
Absolutely.
What
Do you feel like you always do a job that merits a tip? Be honest, because it's a server with experience. I can
Yes.
say to my, let me finish the question, bro. I can say to myself, I didn't really do a good job on this table. So when they don't tip, I'm not surprised. So you're saying that you've never had a shift where you're like, yo, I didn't really do much today, or I didn't really work
I
really
think
well
if
today.
you sucked really bad that day, of course not.
So
you
you
know?
never have shifts like that?
I'm sure I've had them.
That's not what I asked you. Have you ever had shifts like that?
I'm sure she has.
Not every day is perfect.
Yes or no, bro? What are you running for fucking governor? Have you ever had a shift where you're no good and you don't deserve a tip?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that's
But
good to know.
in general,
Oh my God.
tip.
Now, I ask you, what is an appropriate extra tip from servers? Should every server tip you extra? Should some tip you extra? Should the ones that feel like it tip extra? Should the ones that you helped additionally be the ones that tip extra? How would you quantify that? And if you could, tell us what would be a good tip for you at the end of the night. Somebody comes in and say, hey, thank you, good job. So maybe give me some pointers and throw me that number at the end. Anybody want to jump in?
It varies so much, I think. I mean, from what I've seen too, like I've had some servers just like on one night, like throw me an extra $5 or something, which in the end, like I'm still grateful for that $5. Like they didn't have to go out of their way to send me that $5. And it adds up. Like if every server threw in a $5, that would make a big difference in your night. But then of course, some servers like kind of periodically like throw in a bigger tip, like a 50 or 100. Like, oh, thanks for your help from like this past weekend or, whatever. So it kind of depends on how often they're tipping us. For me, I mean, anything is appreciative because not all servers do tip like at all. So it's nice to see like any amount and like, from the server. So yeah.
That's good to know. What about you? What do you think?
I think that the number of which they tip depends on how their night is, of course. Because as a server, I always tipped whoever helped me. And I just feel like some nights in the jobs that I've worked in the past, maybe a server will make $1,000 a night. Even I've seen $10,000. I've seen crazy numbers. And I think it's disrespectful in a way because in order to take good care of a table who's taking very good care of you, you had help and you should take care of the people who also was part of that experience.
Absolutely.
So therefore, the number, it just depends on, of course, you don't want to take from an empty glass. Somebody had a horrible night, didn't make any money. I completely understand. I think something is still appreciated. Like she said, even $5 is not anything at all. So I think you should always tip, but the number just depends on your
Depends on
night.
you.
Kind of
Depends
how
on
well
you.
you did.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I had situations where, for example, I worked the private dining room filled with 25 people. And for some reason, they all decided, no, we're not going to have bottles. We're not going to have bottles of wine. We all want different strawberry lemon drops or mango lemon drop and, keep them coming because that's how it is and keep shots and all that. And if I had that table and I had never had to run a drink to that table and they tip me, I will make sure to tip extra because that's a whole lot of work that I didn't have to do. or they didn't have to hear anything about it because you did
Yeah.
that. So at that point, I've done what Kasey mentions, that I've one that I don't have much, but at the end of the weekend, I say, hey, here's a $100. You saved me the whole weekend. You rocked it. It's a great thing to do. So you can always tip a little bit. You can always tip sporadically, or you can at any time.
Yeah.
Like we said about Mother's Day. At any time you come into a cocktail run and say, hey, thank you.
The tables can tip us too.
You guys
And when
get
it-
money
yeah.
from? You guys ever get cash from guests?
Yes.
They do. They tip you. How often would you say?
Not often, actually. Just,
Yeah, not often.
you know, I don't know. As of lately, I feel like it's slow season.
I was going to ask, what is something that you can do to help motivate those guests to tip you extra? Has there something that you've done that you say, oh, this works for me all the time? Or like 50% of the time, works every time.
You flirt with them. Just kidding.
She's like, no, I'm not kidding. No, I'm not.
Listen.
Listen. You got to do what you got to do.
Listen, I tell this to my SA all the time.
You got rent to pay.
I say to my server assistant, we make money if I'm with my guest. So if you help me be in front of my guests and not back there doing to-goes, not back there running stuff, not back there running, if I'm there, whether it's flirting, entertaining, giving them that extra light, all that stuff, that's how I make my extra money. So don't knock it. You know what I mean? That's what it works. And if I get a couple of pretty girls and I make their day by making them feel beautiful or listen or heard or help you land that close at the end of the date, it's because I was able to be there. So all of that truly helps. And flirting with your guests, it helps with extra tips.
Have you guys flirted with your guests
No.
in order to get more tips?
I already say yes.
No, I feel, of course, Edwin, no.
I think Edwin, he wouldn't flirt with them. He would joke with them.
You would
Yeah.
be very
I
sarcastic.
make my guests laugh. That's how I make money. I make my guests laugh, and I have sharp service.
That's his thing.
Everyone has
Man,
their way.
that was sharp and to the
That was
point.
scary.
You spoke about what you did, and you spoke about what you're doing. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing outside of work. You have a little side hustle. Is there something that you're working towards?
I have a makeup brand called Makeup by Rach. I used to do makeup years ago. So that is where I'm headed towards. And that is what I'm building right now outside of work. That is what I'm passionate about.
You have a store set up currently?
I have an online store already set up.
Yeah. We'll make sure to put some link in the description there so you can check it out. Kasey, is there something that you're working outside of
Yes,
opportunity?
I actually just got my personal training certification yesterday. So right now I'm working on building my business through fitness and dance. And yeah, it's in the works.
And if you want to get those
Amazing.
services too, we'll put some links in the description
Yes.
below. Last call? No? Ladies, I just want to go ahead and say thank you so much for joining us today. We
Thank you for
appreciate you
coming.
taking
You
the
too.
time,
Thank you.
coming in and
Thank
sharing
you,
some knowledge.
guys.
Hopefully people out there will start to appreciate and tip their cocktail runners a little bit
Yes.
more. To answer the question that I asked at the beginning of the show, picture this. Two beautiful, dynamic, personable women bringing that extra spark to your dining room. A cocktail runner isn't just an extra pair of hands. It's a luxury hire that elevates the vibe. With them on board, service smoother, guest experience elevated, and staff, some, and I did say some, very grateful as well. In the end, it's not just about efficiency. It's about creating a memorable dining experience that keeps guests coming back for more. Thank you for listening.
Take care, everybody.
Don't forget to like, share, subscribe.